A lot of courses at Ohlone will also include an online portion. This is especially true for hybrid classes, and even more so for fully online classes. This online portion will be taking place on a learning platform called Canvas. The purpose of this video is to help give those who are new to Canvas and who have signed up for Dr. Massimo's communication classes an overview of how Canvas works and how it will be set up. This is also for those who need a little refresher on how it works. Before I begin though, I'd like to point out that I'm currently using a separate personal Canvas account that I created for demonstration purposes. While I have set it up in a similar way to how Dr. Massimo sets up her Canvas shells, note that there still may be differences when it comes to the layout and content of the actual course. Okay, so when you first log into Canvas, you'll want to go to Courses. This is where you will see a list of all the courses you will be taking this semester. Select the appropriate course. When you first enter into your communication course, you will be brought to the home page. This is where you will see a list of modules. Note that usually they won't be released all at once. These modules will contain what's called lesson agendas. When you click on them, you will see an overview of what you need to complete by the due dates, as well as important information. The next section I'd like to talk about is announcements. They may include modified due dates, links to conference Zoom meetings until in-person classes are no longer suspended, and anything out of the ordinary that you need to be aware of. After that comes the syllabus section. That is pretty straightforward. Below that, however, is what's called the course summary. This is basically an overview of all the assignments you will be doing in this course, as well as their due dates. Following the syllabus section comes the people section. Generally, you won't need to worry about this section until later on in the semester if your course has group presentations. When the time comes for forming groups, you will be asked to select a group to join based on the textbook chapter you would like to present. To do this, you would go to the people section. In this case, I'm already here. And then select the Groups tab. From here, you will see a list of groups based on the textbook chapters. To join a group, simply hit Join. Now let's head to the Assignments section. Here, you will find a list of all the assignments you will need to turn in along with the due dates. These assignments may include chapter quizzes, graded discussion boards, and papers. Pretty straightforward. Up next is discussion boards. This is a common assignment you will be doing in your communication course. I'm going to go over the 3 items that you will need to address in any given discussion board unless stated otherwise in the instructions. First, we have the artifact. This is what you're going to use to construct your discussion board response. An example of an artifact is a video that you may need to watch prior to posting. Next, we have the initial post, which is the bulk of this type of assignment. This is your discussion board response that you will be posting after having read the instructions and questions that need to be addressed, as well as having viewed the artifact. We're not done though. After your initial post, you will need to make several reinforced responses. These are when you respond to posts from your peers. Generally, you will be asked to respond to 2 peers, but that number can change depending on the assignment. Ideally, These reinforced responses should spark meaningful discussion. So keep in mind that responding just to say, "Hey, I agree," would not suffice. Note that, unless otherwise stated, discussion board assignments have two different due dates, one for the initial post and one for the reinforced responses. Usually the due date for the initial post will be a few days before the due date for the reinforced responses. So although you may only see one due date at the top, that's the due date for after you have done both parts. The due dates for your initial post and the reinforced responses will be posted in the discussion board question. Those are the dates you should follow and not the one at the top. So moving on, we now get to modules. For Dr. Massimo's courses, the modules section is basically the same as the home page, where you can see the agenda pages for this course. Following modules comes the quizzes. Most of the quizzes you will be taking are the chapter quizzes. Note that there is a time limit when it comes to taking quizzes. Typically, the quizzes will be in true, false format or multiple choice. Once you're done taking the quiz, simply hit submit and it will be automatically graded. Now we come to the pages section, where you can view all published pages in this course. Pages basically contain content or educational resources for the course, but aren't necessarily assignments. An example of a page in Dr. Massimo's course would be the agendas. The last section I'd like to talk about is the grades section. This is where you will see a list of all the assignments, as well as the scores you got for them. You will also see your overall grade. One really cool part of this feature is you can actually enter in hypothetical scores. This will allow you to see what your overall grade would look like hypothetically had you gotten the score you manually entered. No, unfortunately, you can't use this system to actually up your scores. Okay, so the last thing I would like to show you before concluding here is the inbox section. The inbox is basically an email system within Canvas that allows you to message your instructor, your TA, and other students. To do that, you would just click on it, hit the compose button, then hit the favorite courses and select the course where the person you would like to message is in. You can then type in their names or select them on the right. Alright, so this is the basic rundown of how Canvas is set up for those new to using this who are or who will be enrolled in Dr. Massimo's communication class. Thank you so much for watching, and I wish you the best of luck.